Thursday, August 9th, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. Guys, in this video, I've got several different things I want to take a look at. The Portugal wildfires that have been burning now for 7 days. Wind is still blowing over there. In fact, wind gusts are supposed to near 30 miles an hour tomorrow. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. This is a map of wildfire situations around the world. We're going to get to that here in a minute. That's through a central part of a country. We'll take a look at that also here in just a few minutes. The wildfires between San Diego and Los Angeles, you can see right here when it first broke out. This was sent in by a viewer. This is the Cleveland National Forest, and it's right in here, and it's in a very unique position with regard to densely populated areas, so keep an eye on this one here. A lot of wildfires, not only in California, but around the world. California's got people from, I think, 2 or 3 other different countries they're assisting. And it looks like over in Portugal, from what I've been seeing, they could use some assistance over there themselves. They've actually been using swimming pools, helicopters that have the scoop buckets on the bottom of them for water. They're using swimming pools that are closer to the wildfires to manage these fires, or at least try to get them under control. So they've got more than they're wanting to deal with over here in Portugal. It's a very tough situation. It's hard on the citizens, the population, evacuating people, and then trying to fight these types of fires with limited resources. It's tough, and it's a global phenomenon. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But first, the Saharan dust. We've been talking about this here at this YouTube channel for many, many weeks. And I'm telling you what, guys, and I know you're probably feeling the same thing. We are clear over here, 6,000 miles away from the source. The source is right here, obviously, the Saharan Desert. And you can see another plume headed across the ocean. This is the latest one we were talking about. And it's moving up towards the States. Looks like it's going to be in the Gulf of Mexico by tomorrow. A nice thick cloud. Well, there's nothing nice about those things at all. And in fact, out here in Arizona, which is 6,000 miles away from the source, Florida's 4,000, Texas is 5,000 miles, just for perspective. We see it out here and feel it in Arizona. We've been noticing it on webcams going up the west coast of the United States. And it's been here for several days, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. And it's having an effect on people's upper respiratory system, sinuses, your eyes. We are not used to Saharan dust over here, especially in Arizona. Even though we live in a dusty climate here in the Southwest, it's not Saharan dust. You can totally see a difference on your car, different outdoor objects. You can tell there's a different type of dust in town. So I know people in Florida, they're more used to it than, say, people out west. But this has been an exceptional year. It's been very thick at times. In fact, the past few days, it was exceptionally thick over Florida. Here's a story here from strangesounds.org, and it talks about the Saharan dust arrives in southwest Florida after a 6,000-mile journey from Africa. Well, it's 6,000 miles to Arizona. A little over 3,000 miles to Florida, but nevertheless, that's a long way, and there's still more to come. And it's not showing any signs of letting up. So you have to ask yourself the question, what's the motivator here? What is keeping this dust stirred up that it's affecting literally the whole globe? The green is dust in some form of particulate matter. Some you may not be able to see, but you're certainly going to breathe it in. This here you're going to see. In fact, I have a webcam right here. This is off the west coast. This is a combination of wildfire smoke and dust. And we've been watching this. Someday it's thicker than others off the west and east coast. I would show you the east coast right now, but it's dark, so there's not much to see. But I was looking at the Florida webcams earlier, and the webcams were very hazy. A lot of dust. So this cloud is moving up into the Gulf of Mexico. Look for a landfall probably sometime tomorrow afternoon along the coast of Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all through here. Georgia probably. That's a big, thick cloud. Then we'll see a little break in the action for maybe a day, and then here comes another one. So it's persisting, and again, guys, there's no end in sight. This is Fort Myers, Florida. You can see the sunset, actually the sunrise, and you can see how dusty the sunrise is from Fort Myers, Florida. Saharan Dust Tracker shows it going up into the Gulf of Mexico through the weekend, and it will be making landfall probably Friday night or Saturday, and that's a very thick cloud. That's Friday at 4 p.m. the location. So by Friday evening into Friday night, look for a landfall definitely on Saturday. Once again, that's a big, thick cloud. So just protect yourself if you go outside. Don't be outside for long periods of time. If you do, take precautions. You're going to see it in the atmosphere. That cloud you will definitely see, no doubt about it. And like I said, we're feeling it out here in Arizona, and we're 6,000 miles away. On to wildfires. Yosemite Valley to remain closed indefinitely. Story here from the SierraWave.net. And again, we're talking about more wildfire issues. So Yosemite Valley remains closed indefinitely. Story here you can find linked below in the description box. This here is a fire tornado. This article was sent to me by Elmer, and I appreciate this. This is from a German publication, so I can't read it to you, but we can certainly look at the fire tornado that was observed apparently in England during the wildfires that they were battling over there in the UK. Had wildfires, you know, all out west here in Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, Utah, Texas, Oklahoma, Montana. There in many, many states. That there is really unusual to see a fire. I'm calling it like a dust devil, but it's a vortex. It's a vortex of fire, basically, is what it is. So thank you, Elmer, for sharing that. I would have never known that was there. That's, again, in this German publication from Germany. I'll post the link in the description box. INCIWeb.gov. You can see all of the incidents out here in the southwest that I was talking about, and the northwest is too. Northwest also, and extending up into British Columbia. There are many wildfires up in southwestern Canada right now as I do this video. Some of these are 100% contained. The majority of them are not, however. There's been some new ones added to the list as well. This is INCIWeb.gov. And we've got the Holy Fire down here in Southern California that's probably, let me update this here real quick. I bet you it's over 10,000 acres by now at 5% contained. Let's just take a quick look and see since we're here. And supposedly that fire was not by accident. Don't know all the details yet. There's so much going on. 9,600 acres, 5% contained. That was 6 hours ago. The Mendocino fire, if I can find it. Yeah, Mendocino Complex, 305,000 acres. That's the largest wildfire in California history. These wildfires are getting bigger and they're getting hotter. And it's 52% contained. So over 300,000 acres at the Mendocino Complex wildfire. Unbelievable. The Carr fire, let's check it out. 1 day ago, I think they're getting it under control. Doesn't give any details for some reason. The Hearst fire, 350 acres, 2 hours ago. All of these that you see are over at least 100 acres. July 25th, that's a lightning fire. 11,000 acres, 50%. Natchez fire. Goes up into Oregon. There's multiple fires around Medford, 40,000 acres there. 42,000 there at Taylor Creek. All of these, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. Last I knew there was one in Texas. Maybe they got it extinguished. Multiple in Idaho, northern Idaho, northwestern Montana. And there are many up in southern Canada and British Columbia. A lot going on around the globe with regard to wildfires. This is off the west coast, Mission Beach, not far from San Diego. So this could be a combination, like I said earlier, of wildfire smoke and dust from the Sahara. It's looked like this multiple times when there were no wildfires in the area. So I'm pretty certain it's a combination of both. Interesting story here from Cape Cod. Passengers on a whale watching boat spot snake floating in water off of Cape Cod. WHDH.com is reporting from Provincetown, Massachusetts. Passengers and crew on a whale watching boat off Cape Cod spotted something very unusual in the waters last week. The Cape Cod Times reports the Hyannis whale watcher was about a mile north of Race Point Beach when someone suddenly yelled snake. Marine biologist Joanne Jaboski told the newspaper that an eastern hognose snake was in fact floating alongside the boat. None of us have seen a snake out here before, they said, who's worked on the whale watcher of the boat for several years. They said it's pretty rare, in fact, to see a snake that far out. More than likely it would be okay because they're pretty decent swimmers, and it was more than likely just cooling off. But it was a very unique observation because for all the years that she'd been on this boat, she herself had never seen a snake out quite that far. Another marine incident down here close to Fort Myers, and this isn't actually right at Fort Myers, this is north, off the coast of Venice, but Fort Myers, Cape Coral, they're dealing with this toxic algae, the red, blue, green algae. It's really made quite a mess of things here. But they found some bottlenose dolphins, unfortunately, off the coast of Venice. 6 dolphins found washed up along the beach, bottlenose dolphins, off the waters of Venice in the past 24 hours. This is a story dated August 8, 2018. Venice, Florida. Marine officials are investigating after 6 bottlenose dolphins have been found in Sarasota County within the last 24 hours. Officials say 2 dolphins were found on Tuesday night on a Gulf of Mexico beach in Venice. On Wednesday, 4 more were found. One was near Snake Island and another was at Casperson Beach. Staff members said while conducting necropsies on all of the dolphins at their campus in Sarasota to figure out what happened. According to the post on the lab's Facebook page, all of the dolphins were found moderately to severely decomposed, which is complicating their efforts. They're dedicating to finding out what happened and try to figure out what they can do to make things better. So it could be associated to the toxic algae down here in this area. I have no idea. It's just coincidentally awfully close to where they're finding pretty much on a daily basis, from what I understand, marine life washed up on beaches near Sanibel, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, all in this area here. A lot going on with regard to the toxic algae bloom. So hopefully we'll get that under control soon. Here at the website, MrMBB333.com. Always linked below in the description boxes. Real-time lightning map, interactive weather. In fact, let's take a look at it real quick because we had some unbelievable storms last night out here in the southeast Phoenix area. Looks like we might have some more on tap for tonight. Let's take a quick look. You can go to Intellicast.com through the website. And it does look like there are some storms brewing, just like they were last night. That's the same exact area, same exact path. They rolled right through. And it seemed like once they got right over the center of the city, they disappeared. They came in very strong and disappeared as they were right over the city. So you can find that link here at the website. Interactive weather map, Intellicast.com. All of these tabs, with the exception of a couple, are real-time data. It's updated every time you come to the website. Daily report, that's the newsroom. News articles updated daily, sometimes multiple times a day. Don't forget to check that out. Old Faithful Geyser, Schumann Resonance, which is looking A-OK. No big spikes here as of late. Sky Phenomenon Photo Gallery. And there's more interesting tabs down here below. The CO2 of the Earth, Earth goes east, astrophotography, Hawaii updates from Ikaika, moon phase, the sun and you, seismographs. Let's take a quick look at the seismographs and see what they are showing us. Medium to moderate earthquakes have picked up since the activity in Hawaii has settled down some. At least with regard to the earthquakes, it was trending at almost hundreds of earthquakes per hour in Hawaii, and now it's down to pretty much nothing. It's very, very quiet. So I've noticed since then, moderate earthquakes have picked up globally. So kind of an interesting coincidence there, but earthquakes have slowed down 80% on the big island of Hawaii. UK, they were talking about the wildfires in California and the round of wildfires they had in the UK and how they could better maybe prepare for the wildfires, because I think they too had historic wildfires like they're seeing in California right now. And that's where you saw that the Fire NATO at that I just showed you. It was over here in England, and they've got most of their wildfires under control, but there are still several, and you're going to be pretty amazed when I show you the map how many wildfires are burning globally. In Portugal, the situation here has been very, very stressful as people have been evacuated and had some very close calls. One guy said that he was evacuated out of his house very quickly, and he turned around and he said the fire, they got out of there just in time. The fire was maybe 15 feet behind him. Just absolutely unbelievable pictures and video coming out of Portugal. Updates as fires rage for 7th day and continue to spread. And this article is dated today, August 9th, 2018. And some of the footage, like I said, you can find it at the link below here at theexpress.uk, is just absolutely unbelievable. It is very apocalyptic looking over there. You can see that looks like what they just dealt with up in Greece. Went through a whole big series of wildfires in Greece, in Portugal. They're burning up in Siberia, the UK, the United States, South America, Africa. There's wildfires in a lot of different places. Let me see if I can show you a quick little video clip of, let's see if I have it up, Portugal helicopter. I showed you that, and you can find this one linked below, where the helicopters were actually dipping into swimming pools. That's how bad things were over there, just to get water at the nearest source. This was sent in by Luisic of the wildfires from Portugal. He's over there, said the situation is out of control, or at least at one point it is. The winds I do want to show for the coming days. This is tomorrow afternoon. You can see wind gusts in the area of over 20 miles an hour, in some cases up to 28 miles per hour. That's tomorrow afternoon, guys, in this area of the wildfires. And here's what the wildfires look like from space in Portugal. And you can see that is a huge row of wildfires. That's a collection of multiple wildfires. From space, it looks like one, kind of like this one here, but you can see down low, it's a collection of multiple wildfires. But from up above, it looks like one big wildfire. So that's Portugal, and that's the situation over there right now. This here is across Central Africa. I'm going to show you that here on Google Earth in just a minute. It's absolutely mind-blowing. But big winds again tomorrow in Portugal, guys. So big heads up. Thank you, Luisic, for sending the information. I greatly appreciate it. I've been keeping an eye on Portugal, but it's like it's all over the globe. The earth is like scorched right now. Apocalyptic video shows skyline covered in thick smoke from Algarve blaze. That's in southern Portugal. Let's see if it comes up here. Yeah, you can see the sky there. Look at that. Just unbelievably thick cloud of smoke that completely blanketed the sun. This gentleman here, the link is below in the description box. He was talking in this interview how he was evacuated from his home right as the fire was coming near his place, and as they were leaving, the fire was literally, like he said, I think 15 feet or 15 meters, 5 meters right behind him. Just unbelievable. And you can see the smoke is very dense. It's almost orange. So you can tell the vegetation over there must be extremely thick. You can see here, this is usually an indication of wildfires. This is, I think, the carbon monoxide from wildfire smoke. And you can see across South Central Africa, up in northeastern India. That might be pollution, I don't know. This is a wildfire up in Siberia. You can see some wildfire smoke throughout Europe. Of course, California, southwestern Canada, like we talked about earlier. There are a lot of wildfires burning right now, guys, throughout South America. Not really being talked about. This is the dust as it was making its way north just about 4 days ago. and that would be the northwestern edge of Africa. Very thick plume, not only moving to the west, but moving to the north as well, up in through, in fact, up into Norway and Sweden. This is the wildfire smoke from the big wildfires in Portugal, several still burning. Many people evacuated, and guys, like I said earlier, the winds are supposed to be blowing fairly significantly again tomorrow from the northwest. You can see which direction they're burning, and that's the same direction that the wind was blowing in that photograph, right? Actually, it's right there. There you go. Wind's coming out of the north. So expect the same for tomorrow afternoon. Gusts up around 28 miles per hour at times. That is a combination of dust and wildfire smoke near the wildfires in Portugal. Unbelievable. If anything, it does block some UV, I will say that, but the UV globally has been high, very high this year. That's the fire NATO I showed you guys, and then I wanted to go to Google Earth real quick. Oh, let me show you this quick monsoon lightning from out here last night. I had a little camera set up out front, and I did get one little segment. Like I said, right when the storm got over the city, it just stopped. It was like somebody unplugged it. And that was the last lightning strike I saw right there. A lot of those strikes were coming in contact with palm trees, and a couple of people walking through a park were struck by lightning yesterday from that storm that was moving through. So hopefully tonight it won't be quite as intense as it was last night. It's pretty unprecedented for people to be struck by lightning, and they didn't feel like that they were being threatened in any way. The lightning just kind of came down like you saw there out of nowhere. So back to the wildfires again. You can see here on Google Earth a lot of these wildfires around the United States, up into Canada, even some down through Mexico, South America. These are picked up by satellite. Okay, look at Central Africa. I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't think that these are all wildfires, but they're being detected as wildfires. And this is what I've learned. This is an instrument that detects what could be, and in some cases are, wildfires, or the potential for wildfires. This instrument notices sharp contrast with regard to heat, and it's picking up something through here, obviously. I mean, there's so much data on here, the page drags when you try to move it, but you can see it is accurate, you know, with some degree of accuracy, because you can see it's spot on with the wildfires here in Portugal. I mean, it's right on the money. Wildfires up in Spain, those are for real. They're happening. I just don't know what to think of. This almost looks like an anomaly going through South Central Africa and over into Madagascar. So I'm looking into this a little deeper. I'm not trying to say that that's all one big wildfire by any means, even though satellite data is saying something could be in this area related to a wildfire. I'm not 100% sure, guys. I know that some of these definitely are wildfires, absolutely. Whether all of these are or not, that is kind of unclear at the moment. There's been so much lightning throughout Europe. I would say most of these here are, in fact, wildfires, yes, of some magnitude. Maybe not quite even 100 acres, maybe some more than 100 acres, but there has been a tremendous amount of lightning in this area in the last 3 to 4 weeks. In fact, a couple of days ago, between this area and North America, there was over 100,000 lightning strikes in a 120-minute period. And that was one of the days that we saw extreme lightning over here in the desert Southwest. And in fact, that was the day the big lightning storm was detected over New York. And if I'm not mistaken, people were struck by lightning that day. So the weather is getting very, very intense. People being injured by hail, injured by lightning, being injured by mudslides, and all kinds of different things related to the weather, heat. So we have to be very, very careful. And one thing that we can't see and we don't hear much about is the UV. Protect yourself from the UV. If you're outside between the hours of 10 and 4, carry an umbrella. That's what I always mention, portable shade. If you're going to be at the beach or swimming, definitely use non-toxic sunblock. Things are very active right now, and we'll talk more about this map here later. I just wanted to get this started and share it with you guys. All right, my friends, that's all I got for now. I want to thank you for watching. Have a super day, and as always, be safe out there, guys.